Tavern Talk. This is the week 4 episode. I don't know if we go by the week we're heading into or the week we came out of. But welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm your host, the Anarchist. Joining me today, as usual, right below me, Slimp. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's week 4. Week 1 was week 1. Week 4 is week 4.
Awesome. I'm trying to make sure we're
not
live.
even gonna acknowledge that.
No. I'm making sure we're streaming to the right place. I don't think I've changed anything since, but it's not telling me we're live. But we are live?
This is all,
Yeah,
everything you're saying right now, the world is hearing it.
Oh, well, good for them. Because I'm usually sitting on the dashboard waiting for it to pop up and say, Team Hearth League is live, but it didn't give me that. But we're live. Luckily, Hat knew this. Joining us for the first time this season. Ridiculous, Hat. How you doing?
I am alright. How are you?
I'm doing good. And making his second appearance for this season, Tom Locke is back. How are you doing, man?
Hi everyone. I'm doing great. I'm closing on my new house tomorrow, so life's hectic.
I'm sure. I hate moving, so I do not look forward to what you have to go through over the next little bit.
There.
So, let's get into it. I'm pulling up the doc now. We have some nerfs go live this week. Everyone was looking forward to some of these nerfs in some capacity, and so I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on what's your experience been in Hearthstone since the changes just a few days ago. So let's have Slimp. I saw you playing right before we started. How's your ladder experience changed up a bit since the changes to the cards?
I was playing some rogue. There are shamans, there are priests, still jade druids, hunters. Yeah, I don't know. Just giving rogue a spin since I was bringing it this week. Thought I'd play a little bit on ladder. Before that, playing some warlock, playing all kinds of stuff. Really, not really trying to hit legend. Just playing whatever.
Nice.
It's a huge shakeup, I'd say.
So, one thing I was gonna ask is, how many have you seen much of the nerf cards?
Saw War Axe.
You still saw War Axe? Still saw Pirate Warrior. Okay. Tom
Got
Locke,
beat up.
I know you're pretty busy. Have you gotten to play much ladder since the changes to the cards?
Yeah, but not with any new decks on my end. I'm still laddering with Hunter and Paladin. So just I'm no longer playing as I'm not. They're no longer as tuned to beat Pirate Warrior. So.
Gotcha. And I know you streamed. Was it last night? Some ladder. What has your experience been with Fiery War Axe being nerfed, with Spreading Wind being nerfed? What do you think?
So, we're obviously in the stage right now where people have the excuse to not play Jade Druid. Just like when Pirate Warrior got nerfed, Small Time Buck got nerfed the last time, people had the excuse to play Jade Druid. Blizzard is really good about making nerfs to manage perception. Jade Druid's still really, really good, but I've seen a lot less of it. And the meta feels way more diverse. There are definitely... It feels like a lot of the same decks still exist, but are in a much more reasonable quantity on the ladder, and there's a lot of new decks and experimentation. Hunter, I think, was good the whole time. Asmo hit top 50 legend with it before the nerf, but now Hunter is way more prevalent. Shaman seems to be the big winner of the expansion. I've seen a lot more Bloodlust Shaman, a lot more Evolved Shaman. And Rogue is definitely doing well. There are a lot of Keleseth aggro tempo rogues. There's a couple miracles here and there. And Priest is like Warrior was after Whispers of the Old Gods. There are like 4 or 5 different Priest archetypes out there. I've been trying to get Priest my last golden class. I have all the other ones, and Priest is barely at 250 wins. But my favorite list so far, Hemedictus. Yep, we're throwing away most of our deck and then getting a new one when we're done.
Is this the one you
Yeah.
were calling Benny and the Jets?
It is. So Benedictus, and then Raza, Kazakis, and Anduin, and Hemet are all the Jets, right? So you got Benny, and then you got the Jets.
I am
And
not
I actually
crafting
played-
all this crap.
I was playing on a ladder today, and my opponent was playing regular Silence Priest, double Norshire, double Injured Blade Master, Circle of Healing, etc. But then had Hemet for only Benedictus, Raza, and Anduin. He was not playing a one-of deck. He was not playing a Highlander deck. He was playing a regular Silence Priest, except he threw in Hemet, Benedictus, and the machine gun combo, just to get that in addition to the silence combo. It was wacky.
That's awesome. Luckily, I could play that deck. I have all those cards. I wouldn't need to craft any of it. I might give that a try. Whoever, Blake Hall, I'm Brock Priest. Watch out tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Your scientists.
You
went
own
too
Hemet
far.
and everything?
I own him, yeah. I opened Benedictus. I tried testing that in Big Priest to be like to win the Big Priest mirror, but you have to draw it and you never draw it, so didn't work out. So yeah, I got all those. I might give that a shot. All right. So what do we guys? How do we guys feel about the standings after week 3? I put them in the document. Week 3's over. Some big changes. Some really close division. Well, one really close division, and kind of 3 that kind of have their layers, as Hat put in our document here. So Hat, you kind of started us on this trend. What do you think about the divisions, how they sit after week 3?
Oh boy, there's a lot going on here, right? So it's purple is really competitive. Black, blue, and whatever that color in the bottom right is are all they're all pretty clearly stratified, right? There's definitely a couple top teams, or in Cygreenal's case, I think there's one clear top team and one it's actually not too far behind them. But there's a top layer, a middle layer, and a bottom layer. It's like a sandwich where the top piece of bread is like really nice sourdough and the bottom piece of bread is a turd, right? And in the middle is like some kind of reasonable meat, like I don't know, like bologna. It's not exciting, but you'll eat it. But just when your teeth sinks into that turd in the bottom, it's just really unpleasant. So purple, on the other hand, it's just 2 pieces of bread together, but there's no turd, right? There's no content to the sandwich, but you're not eating shit. So is that better? I don't know. I think so.
It's interesting to look at right now in purple. All of the teams would be in 3rd or higher in the Cyan division.
Yeah. What are you saying? What are you saying?
It's very competitive. It's very evenly matched up. The hombres aren't sitting at the bottom anymore. The difference between the top and bottom is only 11 points, whereas in some of the other ones it's like in blue it's 26, in black it's 30, I think. I mean,
it was 27 at the end of the week. Yeah, I mean, it's
okay.
Listen, I think that my team had a chance in Cyan, or in Teal, but Cyan is complicated, right? It's just there's a lot of texture to the matchups that change a lot with the color difference.
Texture.
Okay. So looking at week 3, before we get into the matchups that we had picked out from last week, I like to give everyone a chance to point out some player matchups, some team matchups that they saw in week 3 that kind of stood out. I don't want to keep us stuck on the matchups that we picked. The one that I saw, and I was looking forward to this one, Crackshot lost Arcane THL in 5 matches. Arcane got him, and man, I wish I could have seen that. I bet that was a really good matchup. And then I was also really surprised to see NWA lose to the Pod People. No offense, Hat, but I had NWA winning that one. So what did you guys see? Did you guys see anything that stood out to you this week in week 3?
The Hombres are winning.
The Hombres are winning.
I know we're not talking about week 4 as it happens, but they just won the week today.
Did they finish it off?
Murdoch still has to play, but Mange, Salmon, and Rogue JT all won.
Mange was the matchup I hadn't seen yet. Mange swept Blue Sombrero.
Blue Sombrero.
Oh, the Heck Boys. I want to see your power rankings now, Heck. I want to see your power rankings now. Let's go. The Hombres just beat the Heck Boys.
I don't know what's going on over there. Like, the memes, maybe they're not memeing hard enough. Maybe they're memeing too hard. I can just say, whatever success is going on over there, it's not because of smoked salmon.
Yeah, I think I'm in Discord with Salmon a lot, and I know this was his first win, but the previous 2 he would get up, or the previous 3 losses he would get up 2-1 and then lose the last 2 matchups.
He's also embarking on the bold strategy of posting his deck list in the Hombres Discord and then inviting his opponent to look at them.
Yeah, it's a very solid strategy.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys see? Slimch, Tom Locke, did you guys see anything in week 3 that was interesting?
Yeah, Defias Brotherhood winning the week after getting 2 DQs. That's impressive, and I'm proud of them. They're,
Jesus.
What could have happened?
Yeah, I saw this one. I had it written down as well. Prepcoin Concede got to play 3 matches and had a 8-point advantage going into it and lost all the matches. And Defias, who hadn't looked really good, managed to pull out a victory. They're still at the bottom by a lot, but I don't think they can catch Dirty Mike and the boys. But if Prepcoin Concede continues playing like that, they might be in trouble. We'll see. But they were able to pull it out, and that was really surprising.
I had a surprise.
What's your splash?
The shellacking that Dirty Mike and the boys delivered to Hearthstone Academy, I didn't think it would be so one-sided. That's really something.
Especially because those teams are both so experienced.
Yeah. I don't know.
When
That
you have
was
that confidence. You kind of are much more likely to split games, split matches. Hearthstone Academy still walked away with some points, but not as many as I would think.
Yeah, in losing 4 matches, they got 2 points from those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they it was really rough for HSA. Not sure what went down there, but Dirty Mike and the boys is on a roll right now, leading pretty comfortably.
Number 1 power ranking preseason.
Slim's like, I called it.
I mean, I've been wrong everywhere else, but whatever.
You throw enough.
Number 1 matters in the end.
Something's gonna stick eventually.
Well, and Prepcoin Concede is not actually super experienced, right? Like, it's not the same team as last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prepcoin Concede's totally different, but HSA is like.
About them.
No, we're talking about HSA and Dirty Mike.
Talking about Dirty
I'm
Mike.
not paying attention even a little bit.
Yeah, you're too engrossed in your cheese over there.
I
Cheese is
ate
gone.
that already. Long gone.
HSA has Zemus and MMI who both have played for those teams before, but Katoda, Dunamis, and Tiramisu are new to the team.
Yeah, might be a question of team chemistry. I know Sage has kind of 2 teams this season, and both are kind of operating under new structure. He's typically pretty good at dealing with new teams, as we saw from last season. He kind of made a new team throughout, but I wonder if this particular configuration might be one that even his captain can't override.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. They're in a really rough spot right now. It's going to take a lot for them to catch back up. So let's move on to the matchups. That we picked out this week. First up, this was the one I picked because it was, Battle of the Tavern Talk hosts. Doghouse versus Swagoy, fighting for the lead in purple. And Doghouse comes out with the victory by a point, and both teams come out tied for leading purple division. Apparently Tim was too ashamed to make it. That's why I had to have Hat and Tom Locke step in, but I was still able to get a Swagoy representative to talk about the match a little bit. Tom Locke, how was your match with Yellow Dart?
So there's this problem that Tim and I have where right as soon as we have a chance at getting 500 PR, we lose the next 4 matches. I went from 492 down to 432, and then I finally won this week. But playing against Yellow Dart, it was the games were unfortunately not ended in interesting ways, and all 5 of the games, we both set up really, really well, played really well, and then had a top deck that ended the game. And that just happened over and over again.
Yeah.
But Yellow Dart definitely played to their outs and won 3 games, and I won the other 2. There were things like Doppelgangster into the Hunter Death Knight, very very swingy plays that just kind of had to play to your outs. But that's what I mean. The games kind of didn't end in a very decision-heavy fashion. But those first 5 turns were all amazing, and the reason that you play THL for sure.
I played Brasky, who was on the show, and he points out, he said last week that close match wouldn't have decided the season, but a blowout really could. And he's kind of right. We're tied, so moving forward, it's still going to be really close in purple. The Hombres are showing there in it. And then who are the noobs playing this week, Slimsh?
Stubbies.
Stubbies. That'll be a good one.
Going very well so far. We have 2 wins so far.
Yeah, Purple's going to be an up and down all season. I think it's going to come down to the last, probably the last week or so. But I played Brasky. That was fun. I got a win with my Warlock. That was all I was really going for. We got there, and then I lost with something else. I don't remember.
Yeah, Brasky lost to the Warlock so hard that he's bringing Warlock this week.
Did he really?
It only such a powerful card.
It only took 3 games for it to get its win.
No, Warlock's one of those decks that has been increased in power level when people are playing all the a more straightforward curve out mid range type of deck. Defile's going to be much more powerful. So, and demons and drawing extra cards all have the symmetrical effects that are really, quote unquote symmetrical effects that are very, very powerful in those mid-range matchups. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Warlock fares in THL the rest of this season, especially after the changes. Let's move on to matchup 2, and I forget who picked this one last week.
Would have been Hat
or Tim?
Oh,
or was it Brasky?
It would have been Tim.
I can't keep up.
It would have been Tim.
All right, well, we'll let Hat take this one since he's subbing in. Team Golden Wisp versus Thermic Limbs. Team Golden Wisp won 16-11. Give us a little rundown on the implications that one had, Hat.
Well, it turns out Team Golden Wisp is still good. Surprise, surprise. But it's nice to see Thermic Limbs being competitive here. They're further behind than they want to be at this point, but not out of the running for a playoff race. Aeon and Golden Wisp are pretty far ahead, right? Talking 13, 14 points. Thermic Limbs is competitive in what I'd call a competitive division, except for Get Off My Lawn. And otherwise, there are 4 really experienced, powerful teams. It's Thermic Limbs' first season for them to be in third place with 43 points, I think, is nothing to be ashamed of. As well as with Bloodhunter and Gideon Jura, who was brand new this week, taking wins off Fly Sly, who was almost undefeated last season. He only lost to some random. And Alec, who's been around forever. Now, Asuna, Avatar, and Sehun had some really, really nice wins. We're not super surprised about Sehun's performance in the 2 seed. Like, he's a killer on 2 seed. Asuna was able to take down Ranka, and Avatar was able to take down Ryzen. Now, those are all players that are brand new to the league. I think it's Ranka's 2nd week. I think it's Ryzen's 3rd. But still, I think Thermic Limbs is in competition. But Aeon and Golden Wisp are really, really far ahead in the lead, like 14 points. If Golden Wisp and Aeon are able to keep up their current record, then it's going to be hard for anyone to catch up with them. But Thermic Limbs is showing they can be competitive with the big boys, even as they get their feet under them. And even with some mid-season, early season roster changes. I'm excited to see what's coming out of them. And I think that they're better than their record indicates. Now, that being said, tough division. Aeon and Golden Wisp really good. But Aeon's going to get pooed on this week, so they might come back to earth.
It's interesting to note that the Thermic Limbs are... they are 13 points away from Golden Wisp, but they're only 7 points out of a wild card spot, so they definitely have a chance if they can keep winning.
The team right now has a very good record especially for a brand new team, and Bloodhunter, Switters are both winning 2 out of 3 of their matches so far. Gideon's only played 2 matches, won one of them. Ranka, limited in her experience, but this is a team that's played against... They played against Aeon week 1, Pod People week 2, and then Golden Wisp week 3. That's 2.5 good teams.
You guys got any thoughts on the Golden Wisp Thermic Limbs matchup? Hat seemed to cover pretty much all the bases.
I'm pretty good.
All right.
You're great.
Slimch, did you pick this one, DMB,
Yeah,
HSA? All right, give us the
we kinda
rundown.
talked about it. Dirty Mike and the boys crushed Hearthstone Academy 18 points to 6. Only lost in the 1 seed Erico Key 2-3 to me, myself, and I. So yeah, kind of the well-rounded nature of Dirty Mike and the boys carrying weight here, winning in the 2, 3 and 3 seed despite being significantly below their opponents in PR, being very advantageous in the 4 seed with a sweep, and yeah, Cody with 249 as a 5 seed. They're going.
Yeah, they only gave up 2
man.
points in in the 4 wins. They only gave up 2 points, which is huge. Especially against anytime you can deny points to a divisional opponent, it's going to really help you out. So.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that
was how
really
I
strong.
consoled the noobs this week in our loss against the Hack Boys. That, well, for the last match I got a sweep, so we denied some points.
And there you go. Yeah,
We lost, but denied points.
Purple's so close. It 1 week everything could change. So at this point, at the halfway point of the show, I'm gonna give Slimsh a minute. Markshire asked us to talk about the Highlander League. It's in its first beta season right now, and it's going really well. I've heard only good things so far from it. And Slimsh is in the league, so I asked Slimsh to give us a little bit of talk about how the Highlander League's going.
Oh, sick. So every week we play 2 matches through Battle Fi. There are 16 of us total, I believe. We use this site, I'm going to link it in chat, deckselect.eu, to do our bans and deck selections with classes. And we have 2 matches a week for Conquest, which is kind of a lot, but honestly it's just fun to play best of 5s in general. Helps prepare a little bit for THL. Eventually you wind up with a bye 1 week or another.
Cool.
And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's in the beta. We're testing it out. And hopefully, sooner or later, we can have it just being a recurring thing.
Nice,
people
yeah.
who are new to the league to jump into.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. What'd you say, Tom Locke?
I said sweet.
Cool. It's interesting to know. Slimsh gave us some standings here, and Switters and himself are both undefeated right now, as is Pumbaa's BFF and Eric Oki. So it's really cool to kind of shout out some of the undefeateds there. It looks like you could tell some of them have their bye. I don't know if we have that link for the standings around, but
Hype 2 is that I'm playing Switters after this.
ooh, so one of you will no longer be undefeated. Awesome. That's really cool. I haven't really gotten to pay much attention to it. I need to log into Battlefy and see what the standings sort of look like. But yeah, that looks really fun. I wouldn't be very good at it. But
it's different.
is it?
It's got more of an open type of feel. You bring your stuff, you submit it. It's not like THL.
Yeah, a lot of people like the open style. THL has a definitely a very unique, I guess, feature. You know, a unique format where we submit our classes so early, where you get to prepare for them. So it'd be interesting to have a THL official more like open style format. I think that'd be fun to have.
Can you imagine a world where nobody DQs from class submissions?
I
I wouldn't
world.
even know what to do. That'd be like 10 hours of my week I'd get back.
All right, let's move on to the week to come. So, I picked for my matchup. I picked Zenergy and Netherstorm. If you look at the standings right now, they're both in the middle of the blue division. And they're only 2 points behind the Texas Stubbies, Zenergy is, and Netherstorm's 11 points behind. So this is a really big week. If one of them's able to deny a lot of points and win big, they will be able to really kind of lock up, not necessarily lock up because it's Hearthstone, but really give himself an advantage getting ready to head into the sort of halfway point of week 5. And so I think it's really important for Netherstorm to get some momentum moving forward. Zenergy just lost to Texas Stubbies last week, and Netherstorm won. They beat Philly Hearth, but it was due to 2 DQs. They played 3 games, and Chijmo got a win against Steffi. Twiz lost and Expendable lost. But I think this is the week where they really need to... I think this is a big week for Netherstorm in particular to kind of continue their momentum and position themselves towards that sort of halfway point. And I'm also really excited to see Imposition versus Twiz. That's going to be a really good match, as well as Swanky Tiger and Boom Boom Hall. I know that both of them are really good players. And so I'm excited to see those matches, the results of those. You guys got any thoughts on Zenergy versus Netherstorm?
X gonna give it to him.
X gonna give it to him.
Yeah, it looks pretty close, I think.
Yeah, it really does.
Zenergy's been performing pretty decently this season, but Netherstorm, they're 2-1.
I believe so. I believe both
You
of
gotta
them
be
are.
at least to be where they are there.
The teams are 9 points apart in the standings. This is gonna be exciting.
I think that Netherstorm has brought the better lineup with the shamans, and they've got more they've got shaman with every player, and I think that shaman is everybody in that on Netherstorm is going to win with shaman. Like,
Man, I love it when my opponent brings shaman. So
Yeah.
easy to target if you bring the
Sure.
right stuff.
But Zenergy,
They
I
did not
mean,
bring the
they-
right stuff.
right? I mean, they can beat it with priest very easily. They can beat it with druid, but their druids are probably gonna get banned again. And I would definitely put my money where my mouth is on the Netherstorm is gonna win. all 5 of their games that they play.
Control Paladin, boys.
It-
So, why didn't you bring Shaman this week?
Don't you laugh. I've been bringing it all season.
So actually, that's a really good question, Ridiculous Hat. I don't exactly know how public this knowledge is. However, if you go and look at some of my old streams, because I haven't been streaming for the summer. But I will when I get my new house. I got internet. If you look at some of my old streams, I'm an aggro player. That's what I love. If I bring Shaman, it's very obvious that I have a 4 aggro deck lineup, and that is very, very easy to counter. That is, that's the reason I didn't bring Shaman, which I would love to start. I would love to be able to bring Shaman, but I just don't think that if anybody goes to check out the stream or any of my articles or anything like that, I think that they kind of can see that aggro strategy coming.
Yeah, just a note, Netherstorm is actually 1-2 right now. They just scored a lot of points in their 2 losses.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's a really important one for him. So I think, Kat, you had matchup 2. Is that correct?
I did. I had matchup with a couple teams that are, let's see, where are we? HSA versus Prep Coin Concede. Alright, so this is the fight for the division which shall not be named. And both teams have their ups and downs, right? Neither one is flawless. And this could be HSA's redemption. This could be PCC cementing themselves in a really nice spot if they pick up the win here. And there aren't a ton of major PR disparities. I think MMI is a pretty clear favorite in the 1 spot, and 1 seed, and Katoda is a killer. In the 3 seed, it looks like Necrotic is over 100 PR favorite on Tiramisu. 2 and 4 seeds are pretty closely situated, so it'll probably come down to those matchups. But you look at HSA's history. They have played against Poo People, Team Golden Wisp, and Dirty Mike. Those are 2 of the best teams in the league, and also Dirty Mike and the boys, right? So it's HSA has lost against some really powerful opponents, and they're still in contention, right? Because this division is so bad. But Prep Coin Concede, they beat Dirty Mike and the boys week 2. They barely beat the old team. What does the old team get off my lawn week 2? And they got completely dumpstered by Defias week 3 with not even having to play 2 of their matches. So I wonder if PCC is worse than the standings indicate and HSA is better than the standings indicate. Even if they're both off a little bit, this could be a very closely situated match.
I definitely agree with you that the HSA is better than their standings reflect. I still would not be wanting to play against them if I was trying to win them to the playoffs or something like that.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
So, I am really curious to see exactly how this goes down, but I think it's going to be tighter than it looks.
All right. That's another divisional matchup that's sort of similar to the Netherstorm match. They're both in the middle of their division fighting for a playoff spot. So it's really interesting to watch those guys fight when Blue kind of has a clear leader right now, when Black has a clear leader, 2 clear leaders, and then when Dirty Mike and the boys is leading side. It's really interesting to watch the battles just below them as these people fight it out. And then finally, I think we have Slimch.
Yeah.
He brought up a good matchup. Give us the rundown on DMB versus Thermic Limbs.
I found where Dirty Mike and the boys. I found where they are, you guys. I don't know. I've taken an interest to Thermic Limbs ever since the first week where they barely lost Aeon. Then they beat the Poo People, and then we saw last week they had that loss to Team Golden Wisp. I don't know. I've still been eyeing this team and I want to see how they can do against Dirty Mike and the boys. And Black is so contentious that even a good showing would probably mean something if Cyan continues to be the way that it's looking to be. So as far as classes go, so Dirty Mike and the boys all brought Priest. Thermic Limbs did not I'll bring Priest, and instead brought more Hunter. Dirty Mike and the boys all have Druid. Thermic Limbs only have 3 Druids. Thermic Limbs class submission is all over.
They are all over the place.
2 warriors, 1 warlock, 3 priests, 3 paladins, 3 druids,
2
1 rogue,
mages.
2 mages, 4 hunters, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Wait, so they have...
And 1 shaman. Do they have all 9?
I think they do. That is something else. I think they have all 9.
Awesome. Look, if they don't bring Druid, how do you know what to ban?
Yes. If I only bring knives to a gunfight, my opponent won't let me know which knife to not use.
Gideon Druid didn't bring Druid or Priest.
Oh, that is a lineup right there.
Interesting.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's actually really interesting. You see a lot of teams clinging to the Druids still this week. I brought it, but 2 of my guys didn't. And then you see teams like Thermic Limbs, and they brought 3. Gold Wisp only brought 2. Like, there's some very interesting stuff changing in THL versus with like the nerfs and stuff. So I really like kind of looking at the classes. I was looking at them earlier for week 4, and you see a really big spike in Hunter. Compared to last week, a slight drop in Druid, but the big loser right now is Warrior. Warrior fell
Went down
off.
by 54. 77 in week 3 to 23 submissions week 4.
Yeah, Warrior just dropped off. Paladin dropped off a little bit, and I think a lot of those decks, a lot of those people went to Hunter. Hunter was only brought 12 times last week. It's been brought a bunch this week. Do we think Rogue sees a more slow burn? I mean, it already tripled its brought people bringing it. It was brought 8 times last week, up to 24 times this week. Do we expect Rogue to continue up? And I ask this because, never mind. He talked about Hunter.
I brought Rogue this week. I think it has a place. Don't want to go too into detail. But yeah,
That is fair.
I was debating hard between that Rogue, Hunter, which went up, which I felt like was a trap. Mage went up. I think Mage is a trap because of Eater of Secrets and THL.
But
Yeah,
what if
and
you're not playing
I still think
Secrets?
Shaman's too easy to target.
We're really early on in the meta here. I get the Warrior drop because right now the only Warrior deck that people know for sure is good is it gets killed by Golakka Crawler, which is in a lot of the other decks that people are bringing. It's a pretty shallow bring right now. There might be Tempo Warriors or Control Warriors or even Dead Man Hand Warriors that people want to play, but I think as a week 1 bring after the nerf, it's going to be difficult to justify that. Rogue typically takes longer to find its footing in a new meta, and I don't know, there's a lot of good stuff there, but is week 1 the one that you want to try out this brand new archetype that didn't even exist before? If you look at what people are likely to bring, there's Druid is the most common for obvious reason. Jade is still good. Priest is the next most common for obvious reason. And then it seems to be archetypes people know about, right? Paladin is more popular than Hunter or Shaman. People know Murloc Paladin. I expect them to bring that. People know
you
about...
gotta bring Control Paladin.
You think so?
Oh,
82
I'm dead
Druid?
serious.
before we get off the Rogue, I
Andrew.
want to say something about Rogue real quick, which is that way too many people are bringing Rogue. Unlike Schlimsch, most people that play Rogue just play Rogue because they want to play a deck with a lot of complicated decisions, and they make those decisions really poorly. Therefore, they will lose in THL and they will stop playing. That's my prediction for the Rogue. We can go on to the Paladin.
Tom Lock's got the prediction. You'll see a spike, and then you'll see a slow burn off. Actually, for Rogue ban.
That's if Rogue, if Miracle Rogue is the deck, then sure. But if Tempo Rogue is the deck, I'm not going to say it doesn't have tight play, but I'm going to say when you can get Kaliseth and Leroy, like, sometimes you don't need tight play. Sometimes you get the right draws. Like, when it was a Miracle Rogue meta, I agreed, you only saw the Rogue Specialist bringing it. And in the Quest Rogue meta, it was harder to bring because it was so identifiable. All the Rogue archetypes just got smoked down. Now we're in the situation where if you have a Hunter and your opponent brings a Rogue, what do you do? Right? It's do you ban it? Do you just hope to queue around it? There's a lot of ways that Rogue and multiple builds, because Miracle is going back to Sap, Coldblood, and Leroy. It's very different from how it was before. It's not like the slow, grindy, targetable version that we were seeing before the nerf.
Yep.
Cthulhu Rogue lives. I'm bringing it next week. Blade of Cthulhu. We're doing it. Alright, let's move on to some Q&A. We kind of already talked about, Adam Faison. Is that Doc McButt?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
But
He asked, what do you think about Hunter making a comeback from the nerfs? We kind of already hit that. And what's your favorite deck to come out of the woodwork?
I don't know. I don't know that we really hit that in the detail that we could.
All right, go for it. What do you think about Hunter making a comeback? Hat kind of mentioned earlier that Hunter was already pretty good. Asmo had managed to hit rank 1 legend with it before the nerfs. He did his Q thing where he dodged some druids, but what do you guys think about the Hunter comeback?
I'm suspicious. Deeply.
Yeah.
I'm also suspicious for what it's worth. Hunter is a very good early meta deck because it's easy to figure out, but that usually means it gets left in the dust.
I don't know. I think Bear Shark's really good. I think in THL there's a lot of Priest, and Bear Shark's really good against Priest. And I think
oh no, sorry.
But you can't play that. You can't play the grandmother against Priest. They just steal it. I had that happen on ladder the other day. I gambled. I was like, he doesn't have it, and I lost. So you guys are suspicious of Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bear Shark's really good. There's more rogues on ladder than there probably will be in THL. It's really good there.
I mean,
more mages.
I don't know about Hunter, man.
If you want to play multiple copies of cards that are really good, you can play Hunter. But you have to, like Slim said, you have to have a matchup advantage for Hunter to really shine. You have to be playing against Murlocs or playing against Pirates for Hunter to really shine, where you can plan for specific things.
Crabs.
Yeah, crabs. Sorry, I should have said when you can find crabs.
I know back a long time ago, Hunter used to do really well against Control Warrior specifically. How does Hunter fare against the control decks we're seeing now? How does it fare against Warlock and Control Paladin?
No one's playing Control Paladin.
Don't tell me no one's playing that. I lost
playing that.
I lost twice to it this week. So don't tell me that.
I think
Where, in the
people
ladder?
should.
No.
I think people should be. You
Yeah.
can build it
SHL.
to beat Priest, to be honest. Easily.
Yeah.
Hunter, how's it do against... I was playing some Warlock the other day. I had a quest. Hunters were... I could usually clear the board in the long run, but... I couldn't get the healing fast enough. You need to build it very specifically to go up against that, and Deadly Shot's just a killer. They're all playing that for the most part now twice, so... Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember when people were big on Hunter against Control Warrior and
That was
mid-range Hunter, and so I wonder if Hunter has more builds. Like right now, it's a sort of I think the most popular builds are the sort of hybridish ones. They're topping out at like 1 Bitter Tide or 1 High Main, So, anything else?
Those were Call of the Wild days. I feel like.
Still a good card.
Too soon, still. I still have my 2 gold in Calls of the Wild because I can't bring myself to dust them.
You shouldn't.
Ouch! You missed. Ow.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I still get to look at them.
Did you guys know that ridiculous hat? What he actually has in the hat is a stack of money.
No, I have a stack of Call of the Wild. They're non-liquid assets.
So, what's your favorite deck to come out of the woodwork? I mean, it really only feels like Rogue has kind of been the one to show up. And then I guess you're seeing more Hunter. Have you guys encountered any other crazy new deck that's surprising yourself, making a comeback with the changes?
My favorite new deck to come out, I don't think it was necessary that the changes were made. However, my favorite new deck to come out of it is the Prince 2/2 Shadow Step, that play anything. That's my favorite.
That's a spicy one.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful.
That's
Kaliseth on 2. Everybody drink.
Kaliseth. Yeah. yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that deck got really popular. I was watching Asmo play it last night.
Yeah, it's a deck that will not be popular forever, unless it turns out to be incredibly powerful. But it's definitely very, very fun to play for a bit.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Ben Goodman, aka Ridiculous Hat, asks, "What do you think of the board's new philosophy of badger the shit out of people to get class submitted?" Tom Locke, I'm gonna fin that one your way, seeing as you're the only non-board member here.
Yeah, sure. I love it. My wife is due in November. It'll be my first child. So I've been reading a lot of parenting books, trying to incorporate ideas from different sources, different parenting strategies, and that is like you put the task that you want the child to do in front of them, or you move the child to the task, and that is a highly, highly recommended strategy. So it turns out what works on children also works on adults. Try that out in your corporate life. But yeah, huge fan. So
Slim, you guys got any thoughts about it? I've only missed class submissions once. I really like the emails. I'm all for having fewer DQs. Look, I'm really happy. There hasn't been too many this season. But Brasky and Chess is THL players equals adults. Come on, bruh.
MMI is an adult.
By what definition?
That's a good point. The science also backs the board up on their decision. Less people have been failing to submit, so you gotta go with the science, right?
Yeah. It's really interesting.
This is a controlled environment.
It's really interesting. A lot of people were waiting this week, I feel, especially to try and just get as long as they can to see how the meta's shaking out and stuff like that. So hopefully, I know there was a lot of people waiting until like the last few hours. So,
are you saying that they want to see how the alerting meta wakes up? Like, is it going to be an email? Is it going to be a Facebook post?
I know
Discord?
we got the emails. We gave the ping because there was a lot of them. But I think just overall, people were unsure of what to bring, and they just waited. I know I took a long time as well to decide. But the emails are really nice. And then in the same vein, Bill Grennan, which I believe that's Brasky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slowly learning the Facebook names to the THL names. With the dawn of using reCAPTCHA to submit classes and scores, which THL player do you suspect is actually a robot?
Vedni.
Benny.
Rather,
Science has not
the
advanced that far. There's no way.
team of writers has a bot to assist them, so they can spend more time writing.
I'm gonna go with the Fly Sly. I don't see how he wins that much and has done so well without being some sort of super smart AI. He's already won this week. Like, you can't stop the man. So that's my answer. At Tom Locke, who's your robot? Or just THL. Just Slim.
The amount of times
Where
that
is
I
Masan?
have accidentally been a total dick to Slimsh, and he has been kind and respectful in return. It's just, he's got.
I might just not notice. I'm oblivious.
Yeah.
Your programming doesn't accept those inputs. Yeah.
What is emotion? Where is Masan?
Do you suspect anyone secretly a robot in THL?
I think Hockey Boys is a robot because of his... And I think that he's a robot with a slight defect in his card evaluation circuits. Because...
Ouch.
Dang it.
Anytime that he... Like, on the THL board, he is unbelievably productive. He's doing things right now. Like, I reorganized the channels because there's a new Discord feature. He's like, this sucks, let me redo it. And I was like, okay. But then when it comes to card release season time, I think that logic programming is definitely set to maximum optimism. Like, definitely turned all the way up on the optimism dial.
Look, I'm with Hockey Boys here. If you can't be optimistic about new cards, then why would they even have new cards?
For us to crap on them.
I guess you can be excited to shit on them.
That's clearly why they're there, right? And we also have that in common with the card Jade Idol, so, you know.
Alright. Well, I didn't catch any good questions in chat. I probably should have told them to give us some more, but we're approaching 9 o'clock. It's about time to wrap it up. But first, we gotta do our plugs. For Salty Saturday, actually, let's do this in order. For Friday Night Fights, Reed Bobson plays MMI. I believe that was one of our featured matchups I think we picked. So that's really cool. And then we have Hat. Is that you fighting Dwayna?
It is. So prepare for my
Ooh.
public embarrassment at 9 p.m. Eastern.
I'm looking forward to that. Are you the first match?
No, I'm then 9 p.m. the second match.
Okay, so it starts at 8. Everyone get in there for some Friday Night Fights. It'll be a really good one. And then Salty Saturday, we have Switters versus Arakoki, another matchup from one of our featured matches. Then we have Hockey Boys versus Mojo Pal. What team is Hockey Boys on?
Aeon.
Aeon. Okay, another Aeon Poo People match.
Yeah, it's. I'm really looking forward to the public defecation that's going to happen at Aeon.
And then on Sunday, SHL Sunday Ticket will be going on. I don't know who's for sure playing, but I do think Arcane THL is playing Snowbum. Tiny Fin Fan Club versus Dad Legend, probably I think they're the top 2 rated teams on the SHL Power Rankings, which you can check out at the blog. So, and I'm sure there'll be another match on the SHL Sunday Ticket. I just don't know what it is yet. It might not be locked down, but go check that out. And again, go look at the blog. I can't say enough about how much good content is getting regularly posted to that. We got SHL Power Rankings on there. I think it was Yellow Dart, Arcturus, Inked, and one other person, Eric Oki. Yeah. All worked on this. Really interesting to see. I really like the way they did it. They gave everyone an average score to see where they land. SHL's really interesting this season. A lot of really interesting matches have happened. If you're not paying attention to it, you probably should. It's really good. Dad Legend came in and is just dominating. It's really cool. The sexy hombres, they're doing really good. The Flint Tropics are doing good.
Dad Legend is who I'm rooting for to.
Those guys are great
to win.
I love Dad Legend. They're so cool. Yellow Dart. I was gonna try and get him on my team back in season 3, but he didn't fit PR. Hat is actually the one who recommended him to me, and then I got him in season. I'm sorry, that was back in season 2. Back in season 3, I got him, and then this season, I asked him if he wanted to be a captain, and their team is showing up, man. They I'd talked to Wild.Ben before a couple times, and they've got a solid team there, and I'm really happy to see them having so much success. So SHL's really interesting this season.
Dad Legend is a group of guys from a very active Discord, from a very active community. WoW.Ben is actually kind of the producer of that entire community there. And they were really tight-knit before they came to SHL. They kind of came as an entire group. And we've seen that before, but these were people that knew each other through the context of their life situation, not any geographic proximity, not like a lot of the Atlanta or Texas or Philly teams that we've seen get together. They just knew each other because they were similarly situated in the game. Some people had more time, some people had less time, but a lot of them just had similar mindsets, and it turns out that gelled really well for a team under the careful guidance of Yellow Dart, who has proven himself to be a really an excellent player and a good leader so far.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the best stories coming out of SHL right now. So yeah, I think that does it. We've kind of covered everything we're supposed to cover. Any parting thoughts? I'll let Tom Locke. Once again, thank you for being on the show. Sorry it was last minute. I didn't catch that Tim wasn't going to make it. And so I wanted to get you on. So give us your parting thoughts, Tom Locke, before we go.
All right, it's everybody go like this. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Woo.
Woohoo.
Alright, see everybody next week.
Slimch, give us your parting thoughts.
Parting thoughts.
That's right.
Control Paladin's great. You can clear War Leader with equality combos now. Pretty cool. That's why.
Cards working the way they're supposed to. That's pretty great.
I know, right?
Alright, and then Hat, give us your parting thoughts.
Happy birthday, C. Parker! Woo!
Thank you. Today is my birthday. I'm 26 years old, and I realized that last year was the last good milestone birthday that's good, because at that point you can rent cars and stuff. But now it's all downhill.
No.
How old are you now?
26.
26 is great age.
I think, don't you have to be 27 once you're not eligible for the draft anymore? I mean...
Oh, nice.
There we go. I got one more year where I have to worry about Trump shipping me off to some war with North Korea because he... let's not even go there.
But when you're 27, then, you can...
Yeah, one more year to worry. Yeah. Thank you guys. It was good. I had this... me and my wife went to go get some Mexican food before this. I got this massive stone bowl filled with meat and peppers and onions and cheese, and it was amazing.
Bowl filled with meat.
Yeah. Well, those were my parting thoughts. Thanks you everybody for tuning in. We will see you next week, and until then, keep laddering and keep ranking up. Bye.
Bye.